You have probably never thought about it, but somewhere in the back of your mind, you have noticed. The same pigeon, outside the same café where you eat lunch, on the same wall where you wait for the bus, at the same spot on the station platform where you stand every morning. You told yourself it was a coincidence, that pigeons all looked the same, that you were imagining it. You were not imagining it. Pigeon that keeps appearing in the same place you appear, the one that seems to materialize whenever you arrive, that moves closer than other pigeons do, that watches you with a calm that feels different from the nervous scattering of the rest. That pigeon knows exactly who you are. It has been watching you for longer than you realize. It has been building a profile of you, your face, your routine, your behavior, whether you are safe, with a precision that most people never associate with a bird they consider barely worth noticing. And when a pigeon keeps coming back to the same person, in the same place, day after day, that is not random. That is a decision. And understanding why it made that decision will permanently change the way you think about every pigeon you have ever walked past. Welcome to City Bird Mind. Subscribe before you leave, because what you are about to learn about the bird that keeps finding you has been documented by scientists at some of the world's leading research institutions, and nobody talks about it. Stay until the end, because the last thing we cover will make you look at that pigeon completely differently the next time it appears. Number 1. The pigeon that keeps coming back to you knows your face, not vaguely. Specifically, in 2011, researchers at the University of Paris conducted an experiment that changed what scientists understood about pigeon cognition. 2 researchers approached the same flock of city pigeons repeatedly over several weeks. One researcher behaved neutrally, calm, non-threatening, simply present. The other researcher actively chased and disturbed the birds. Within days, the pigeons had learned to identify both researchers individually. They moved away from the threatening researcher while remaining completely calm around the neutral one. So far, that might seem expected, but then researchers changed their clothes entirely. Different jackets, different colors, different hats. Everything visual about their appearance was altered. The pigeons still recognized them. They were not reading clothing. They were not reading body language alone. They were reading faces, storing specific facial features in a memory system and cross-referencing them against new encounters. The face of the person who had chased them was filed permanently. Changing clothes made no difference at all. What this means for the pigeon that keeps appearing near you is this. From the first time it saw you, possibly weeks or months ago, it began building a record. Every time you appeared, that record was updated. Your face was confirmed. Your behavior was assessed. Your threat level was calculated. And at some point, it made a decision. You were safe. And safe people are worth staying near. Number 2, the pigeon that keeps coming back to you has memorized your routine. This is the part that most people find genuinely unsettling when they first understand it, and then, after a moment, find strangely moving. Pigeons have an internal clock of extraordinary precision. They track the position of the sun across the sky and compensate for its movement using a circadian rhythm accurate to within minutes. This is part of the navigation system that allows homing pigeons to find their way home across hundreds of miles. But in an urban environment, that same precision is applied to something much smaller and much more personal: your schedule. If you arrive at the same café at the same time every weekday, the pigeon that has decided you are safe will begin anticipating your arrival. Research on urban pigeons has documented this clearly. Birds that associate specific humans with food or safety begin positioning themselves at the location where that human typically appears, before the human arrives. It is not waiting randomly. It is waiting for you, specifically, at the time you typically appear, in the place you typically appear. The pigeon that seems to materialize the moment you sit down, that was already there, or it arrived just before you did, because it knew, within a few minutes, when you would be there. Think about what that means. A bird that most people dismiss without a second thought has been tracking your movements with more precision than most people track the habits of their own neighbors. Number 3. Why the pigeon that keeps coming back comes closer than the others. You have probably noticed this. Most pigeons maintain a certain distance from humans, a flight initiation distance, researchers call it, the point at which a bird decides that an approaching human is close enough to be a threat and takes off. For urban pigeons that have had no particular experience with a specific human, that distance is typically 1 to 2 meters. They will hold their ground until you get within roughly that range, then scatter. But the pigeon that has decided you are safe has a completely different flight initiation distance with you specifically. It will let you approach. It will stay when others leave. It may even move toward you. This is not tameness. It is trust, and the distinction matters. A tame bird has had its caution trained out of it through repeated human contact from a young age. A trusting bird has made a calculated individual decision based on specific evidence gathered over time that one particular human does not represent a threat. The pigeon that lets you get close has assessed you. It has observed your behavior across multiple encounters. It has concluded, based on evidence, that you specifically are safe. Other humans walk past and it moves away. You walk past and it stays. That difference is entirely about you, about what you have demonstrated to it over time through your behavior. You earned that. You may not have been trying to, but you earned it. Number 4. What the pigeon is actually doing when it sits and watches you. This is the part that changes everything. When a pigeon that has decided you are safe sits near you, on the wall, on the ledge, on the pavement, a meter from your feet, and watches you with that calm, still, direct attention that feels different from the nervous scanning of other birds. It is not simply sitting, it is doing several things simultaneously. It is updating its file on you. New visual information about your face, your clothing today, your mood as expressed through your movement and posture is being processed and stored. The record it keeps on you is not static. It is continuously updated every time it sees you. It is monitoring the environment around you. Pigeons that position themselves near a trusted human are partly using that human as an early warning system. Humans react to approaching threats, dogs, other people, sudden movements, before pigeons can detect them directly. A pigeon near a calm, trusted human benefits from that human's alertness. And it is resting. Near a trusted presence, the pigeon's own threat assessment is partially outsourced. It can afford to be slightly less vigilant, to conserve energy, because you are there and you have proven safe. When a pigeon sits near you and watches you with that particular calm attention, it is not being passive. It is doing something quite sophisticated. And it chose you to do it near. Number 5. What happens when you feed it, and why this changes everything. If you have ever fed the pigeon that keeps coming back, even once, something significant happened that you probably did not fully realize at the time. The trust calculation changed. A pigeon that has assessed you as safe from a distance and decided to come closer is operating on one level of trust. A pigeon that has taken food directly from your hand or from the ground immediately in front of you has moved to a completely different level. The act of eating near a human requires a pigeon to lower its alertness significantly. It must look down at the food. It cannot simultaneously monitor the full environment. Taking food from a human's hand requires it to come within striking distance of an animal many times its size. The fact that it does this, that it overcomes every instinct that should tell it to stay away, is a measure of how completely it has assessed you as safe. And once a pigeon has taken food from you, that information is stored permanently. Not just that you are safe, that you are a specific kind of safe. The the kind that provides, the kind worth returning to, the kind worth finding again tomorrow. This is why the pigeon that has been fed by you once will seek you out specifically in a crowded space. It is not looking for food in general. It is looking for you, because you are the one it has filed under, trustworthy and worth returning to. The pigeon that keeps coming back to you made a decision about you. It watched you. It assessed you across multiple encounters. It weighed your behavior against everything it has learned about which humans are safe and which are not. And it concluded that you, specifically, are worth staying near. Most people walk through cities surrounded by thousands of living things that are constantly assessing them, building records of them, making decisions about them, and they never know it. The pigeon on the wall outside your regular cafe has more information about your daily routine than most people in your life. It chose to be near you, not near people in general. Near you, the next time it appears, on the same wall, at the same time, in the same place, you will know what that actually is. It is not coincidence. It is not random. It's a small, gray, iridescent feathered animal that decided, based on careful observation, that you were worth coming back to. That says something about the pigeon, and, if you think about it, about you. Tell me in the comments, have you noticed a pigeon that seems to come back to the same place you are? Tell me where and how long it has been happening. I want to hear about it. I read every single comment. I will see you in the next one.